Hello, Fulton Schools community members and potential partners. I'm Jeremy Windsor. I'm the high school Earth and Life Science teacher. I want to take a moment to explain a campaign that we've started here at Fulton Schools. This summer, I wrote a grant to the Gratiot Community Foundation. That grant totaled approximately $8,000 for the construction of a greenhouse. Ultimately, we've heard a lot of communication from the community about the possibility of starting an ag program or an FFA program in the future. This was kind of the beginning to that process. So we were awarded the grant. The grant was awarded through the Clyde and Maud Miser Memorial Fund. It totaled approximately $8,000. Now we have already gained 2 additional supporters, so we've got an additional $1,500 raised on top of that. Our goal amount is $28,000. We had a greenhouse planning team that came together to try to figure out exactly how we were going to construct a greenhouse and what type of greenhouse we were going to construct. Initially, our thoughts were to create a hoop house and just side it with plastic. After some initial discussions, we came to the conclusion that for the long-term usability, it may be better for us to construct a polycarbonate-sided greenhouse. This led to additional costs, and so at the November school board meeting, I went to the school board and laid out a plan for trying to raise some additional funds. The school board has approved us trying to solicit funds for the construction of this greenhouse. So why do we want to raise the funds? Ultimately, we are looking at employability of our students. We see our community as a rural agricultural community, and in order for students to leave our high school and enter the world of work here in our local community, we feel like a greenhouse and some plant and animal science would be a benefit to our local community. Also, we wanted to use the grant dollars that we received very wisely. We felt that through creating a hoop house, the amount of wear and tear on a plastic-sided hoop house with students would be much greater than it would be on a polycarbonate-sided building. Also, we were looking at the long-term vision for our district. We want to make sure that our district is looking to the future and looking to have students leave here that are productive in our local community. I put a couple benefits on here of a polycarbonate building versus a double layer hoop house. Ultimately, plastic on a double layer hoop house will only last 4 to 5 years. Polycarbonate will not deteriorate near that quickly. Heating of a polycarbonate building will be more efficient as well, so save costs as far as heating in the future. Ultimately, our plans are that this building would be used throughout the entire school year, so even into January, February, and March, some of the coldest points of the year. And then also, polycarbonate will withstand the abuse that our students are going to put on it much better than plastic will. We'd also talked about the possibility of maintenance workers running lawnmowers and things like that, and what the possibility is of just simply poking holes in a plastic sided building. Our concern is that if we were to have a plastic sided building, it would just deteriorate much quicker than a polycarbonate building. So ultimately, we've got some goals for the future. We're looking to raise funds, the $28,000 in January and February of 2017. So here in the next few months, we'd like to raise all of those funds. We'd like to finalize our planning by April 2017. And then we'd like to have our construction finalized into May. Over the course of the summer, we'd like to develop lesson plans and curriculum, and we'd really like to come alongside our local community, our local farmers, our agricultural community, and we'd like to try to develop lesson plans using best practices that they are using currently. We want our students to leave our high school with skills that would benefit them in the local community if they so choose agriculture as their long-term career. We are also looking at the possibility of integrating a new plant science class and also some lessons into the 2017 and 18 school year. I'd really like to integrate some of those into my life science and earth science courses. Also, we've considered the possibility of offering that plant science course by the fall of 2018. We just finished with the survey that we've put out, and we've seen a lot of feedback on reintroducing FFA or some type of plant and animal science class. And so we're trying to meet the needs of our local community and what our local community is telling us. And then ultimately, one of our long-term goals is to build support and interest to reintroduce FFA into the school. We see that as being more of a 5-year to 10-year plan, but ultimately it's going to be dependent upon the number of students that would be interested and the community support for that type of thing. So you can see here just some general plans. These are the types of houses that we've looked into. They would be heated. They have irrigation systems in it. They also have ventilation, which will be very important. This is just an example. Our hoop house, or our greenhouse, excuse me, will not look exactly like this, but this is what we've pursued as far as trying to find plans and kind of go with an overall goal of something similar to this. So you may see in the community floating around at some of the athletic functions a letter of support and also a brochure. The brochure looks like this. It's got a lot of additional information in it that versus what I have just shared. Goes through kind of all of the process. We've got a nice little we are on our way picture here showing our overall raised support so far. That will be visible in the school as well. We're going to continue to update that as we raise additional funds. We've also got some future goals that are on there as well. There's a little insert in here. If you are interested in helping us with this campaign, even if it's not necessarily financial, we're still looking for support as far as constructing lesson plans or curriculum related to plant and animal science. We're looking for community involvement. We're looking for community input. So just check that and get it back to our office or even send me an email letting me know that you're interested in supporting us in some way, helping us in some way with this project. There's also a support letter that's floating around with that brochure. Read through both of those materials so you get a better understanding of what we're doing. Ultimately, what we're really looking to do is to get our community involved in what we're doing here at the school. We're doing some great things. Our students are excited about some of the things that we do here, and we're trying to get our community on board with those things as well. So I hope this helps understand where we are going with our campaign, and we're really looking to help our students as they start transitioning into the world of work outside of our high school.